Hello and welcome back to the Pride Pod here on a Monday night this time, a little bit early to talk all about Orlando Pride. The Utah Royals were destroyed 6-0. We're going to get into that here on Loud and Proud Orlando. Welcome back to my co-host, Luis. Welcome to all of you who are here joining us live. We want to hear from you. Drop your comments. Let us know what you thought of that win. Luis, how are you on this Monday night?
Well, it's Copa America Monday night, but definitely, static of the clobbering that this one was actually a true clobbering, without exaggerating. Orlando Pride literally destroyed the Utah Royals, decimated the elevated to Ultra Instinct mode, as in Dragon Ball Super. So they achieved a new level, and definitely 14 games being run, club record. Barbara Banda and Marta each scored twice. Summer Yates, Ali Watt, you know, fantastic performance. And also very important performance because of what it meant to win on that night as well, which we'll discuss that. And also new faces coming to see the Pride, leaving with a win of 6-0 is definitely something that they're gonna, come back and see the Pride one more time. So a lot of people already, I'm sure, calling their reps, be like, hey, next year, so it's just all positives for the Pride, and I'm just delighted. The level of soccer they're playing is unbelievable.
Yeah, speaking of reps, I actually went to the season ticket member event beforehand at the Broken Strings. Me and Paula went there, and they were doing like giveaway, like a raffle, and there was some. Scott Sutter was there, and Kira Bernard was there. Also, Luca Petrasso was there, so that was interesting to see. And Nabi Kibaguchi. So that was cool. Like met some of the other Pride fans, talked a little bit with them. And then we went over to the stadium, and I saw you in the concourse as you were having a pre-event as well for the presser there. So that was great. We haven't seen each other in a while.
I know.
It was just that kind of kicked off my night, and then
I
the
give you a
goals
warm hug.
started flowing. Yes, yeah. Like people don't realize we don't see each other that often
Yeah, I
in
know.
person, Luis. And then the game started, and it was just like, yeah, no, out of
Yeah.
this world. I spent the first half where I usually sit in my season tickets. And then I went over into the wall for the second half to get a little bit of that atmosphere. And that was more lively than we've ever seen it at games. And 6 goals. I mean, it was just like fireworks, celebration, like everything
Yeah.
was,
It's just the tifo as well,
oh, yeah. And
like the
Pride Night, so much going
yeah, I
on.
mean the Pride Night, the tifo is just picture perfect. I don't know if you noticed, I don't know, I'm sure you did. There was a giant rainbow as I was coming into the stadium. Huge rainbow, man, over the stadium. It was just picture perfect. Actually, they were I was talking to communications about that at the actual mixer, which I do want to thank the club for the hospitality. And honestly, it was like picture perfect, man. It's fantastic, man. For what the night meant, for them to win with such power, it's fantastic. We saw Carrie Lawrence also playing in the second half. It was great to see her again.
Yeah, here you go. This is the picture right here. If you're
Yeah,
watching on YouTube, you can see as we were walking up to the stadium, it's just literally coming out of the stadium was a rainbow on Pride Night. I think some other people got pictures of that. So it was really just a great night, and obviously it's always we're looking back at the 49
for
and
sure.
always remembering that. And I have my own personal memories to do with that, Luis, and you as well. And everybody does. So whenever we have a night celebrating that, we always want to win. And I feel like this night just couldn't have gone, more perfectly. I think it was great all around. So let's talk about the game. You want to get into the goals? Before that, though, we can read a few comments.
Sure.
Here, Stream Jesus says, "Give him hell, John." 6-0. Woo.
What?
The ladies played so good that I actually have a crush on a couple eyes. Stream Jesus is in love. He's in love with some of these Pride players. Jay, Texas, greetings, guys. Awesome win. The attendance going up. Yes, definitely. What was it? 9,000, Luis, and we're 400 short, right? 9,600 something.
Yeah.
400 short of the 10,000. Jennifer says, I shared pics of the TIFO in my work teams today and convinced a few people to come to the game after the break. Love that. More the merrier. Shimju says, I see Pineda clubbering out a hot dog. Lol. JK, bro, he says. Hogtown Hooligan says, Luca Petrasso, question mark.
Damn.
Interesting. Yeah, Luca Petrasso was there at this.
Will he be back? Will he be back?
I think he may. I was really tempted to go over and ask him how Italy was, but I didn't do that. Jen also says, every favor being at, that's awesome. Let me know if they need tickets. I think she's talking to other Jen there. So yes, bring as many people. We were so close, Luis, to that 10,000 mark.
Yeah.
It was I thought we were gonna get there. Really, this game, I thought this was gonna be the one. And we're just to be 400 shy is like, oh.
Yeah, it was the exact number I believe was 9,000. Hold on, let me just double check. It was 9,500. It was, hold on, it was on Twitter. I don't remember. Oh, 9,656 highest attendance this season so far for the Orlando Pride.
So like 350 off.
So 350 off, man. I mean,
all right, everyone bring a friend. That's the 350 for next game.
There you go. So this was the lineup for the Pride for this game, 4-4-2. Pretty much we've grown accustomed to this lineup as well. Haley McCutcheon for sure, an important part of the puzzle, especially in this game. Summer Yates as well. The level she's playing is unreal. Marta's level as well. It's like makes everything look so easy, especially, because I think everyone in this team, they're playing collectively so well. They share equal responsibility across the board. So Marta just plays you can tell she's so happy playing the game, you know what I mean? And she's creating magic. Adriana, had a couple of chances, I did she did great. She's a little ball hogging, here and there. Doyle, phenomenal on the 1v1 as always. And what can you say about Barbara Banda, man? I think I leave that up to you, John, because that was super impressive, her dominance.
Yeah, I mean, it all came together in this game, right? We talked about the fact that in the last two, there's a lot of chances left on the table, a lot of missed opportunities, especially against North Carolina. And then in this game, it just started flowing. And then once it was everything was going well. The passes were connecting, all the shots were coming off. And that's how you end up with a 6-0. And the Utah Royals, actually, their goalkeeper had a decent game, I thought. She didn't play that badly. So it could have been even more than 6. It could have been 8, 9. It was just a real display of dominance from us. Again, the 4-4-2, I think Summer Yates playing a little bit deeper in this 8 role. I've been really impressed with what she's been able to do from there. It's very adaptable. Marta, she kind of just floats around. Adriana, it becomes almost a 4-2-3-1 at times. You notice that, Luis?
Yeah.
And then it can go back to being a 4-4-2. Like when we go into defense, a lot of the time Marta was left up there and Adriana was in the right mid position. And so when you've just got Marta and Banda floating around at the top of the field waiting for counter attacking opportunities, and those two are connecting so well all night, it just is too dangerous. When look at Marta on SofaScore, on FootMob's got an 9.3, and Barbara's got a 9.6. Like it is just the two of them when they're both playing that well. I think we're unstoppable. And whoever we were playing, whether it's Utah Royals or whatever opposition in NWSL, I think it would have been a win just based on how well we played this match.
Yeah, I mean, just like you said, and just to add to that, and then going to the goals, Yates will end up being like kind of sort of like a right winger, and then Marta will slick in the middle, and then then you'll see her switch with Adriana. Like Adriana will end up on the 10 spot, and then Marta will be with Banda up top. So, I know Doyle tactically was like right there on her position, same as McCutcheon and Abello as well. Brie Martinez, phenomenal game too, which we'll discuss Brie Martinez because I know that there was a contract extension signed today for Brie Martinez. But overall, a phenomenal game. Hot to me was the best player for this team. I think with she had a couple of good saves in this game.
I'm going to put all of my attacking pieces out at once, and it's just going to be too much. I think anytime, like I said, we got Marta and Banda on the field together, that alone is the two of them cause so much problem and draw so many defenders that it just opens up the field for other players around them.
No, I totally agree. Here, look at this play right here. On the 1v1, you got Julie Doe right there. And she's like, hey, I'm going to go for it. You know what I mean? And they're completely open in attack.
I mean, Carrie here in this goal,
it's 50% her goal, essentially.
Every game, Louise, she has one of these moments where she drives into the box. Like she's got so far up the field here. And then not only is she like, okay, I'm going to stay out on my wing, like a lot of left backs would. She's quite happy to drive inside, get into the actual box like this. And then she knows if she puts the ball across, and look at Banda there, already streaming in. Because she knows as soon as Carrie gets to the point that Carrie's going to hit that cross.
It's like Carrie's inside of her foot, because that's how she crossed, with the inside of her foot. Like Band already knows, like this.
Also kind of left her mark behind and sprinted into that space there in the 18 was really impressive. A great. She's a hell of a left back, I gotta say. I think she's not trying to be biased at all and looking at it subjectively.
Yeah, but she's such a bright future ahead of her, man. Yeah, unreal, and that's why, and again, Brie Martinez also phenomenal game in this game, and 2-year contract extension. I do want to say it was really hot that night. Like, I think they had a lot of water breaks, but it made sense because it was just so hot. Trust me, it was like, I don't know. How are you feeling out there, John? I mean, you were right there with the people, you were out there. It was pretty hot.
Yeah, I guess. I think it's just every game is hot. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, which level of hot are we today? It's all hot. It's just, are we dying in the heat? This was an 8 p.m. game. So it was. Yeah. I don't think it's not so bad. I think the summer like games that they do at like 6 o'clock, those, and the sun's still out, and if you're on the east side, that's pretty brutal.
Yeah,
definitely.
So, you want to read some comments real quick?
Yeah, we could read a few comments.
Okay, so
you can go.
Is this one? Have you read Jay Texas one? It says the press this team puts on, it's so amazing. I completely agree with you. Rachel, there you go, Rachel. Thank you for tuning in. I don't think it would have mattered much if the Royals played any better because our plays were so precise. Correct. Like Jay Texas, Carey just saw the space and went for it. It would have been a golazo if it had gone in. Yeah, it would have been amazing. It would have been 3-0 before the half. Like, it's between both games, Friday and Saturday, we saw 10 goals. I think if Hot would have not had the saves she had, it would have been more than 10 goals for sure. I think the Pride would have won like 8-0 or something like that. It would have been crazy.
On the stats, we had 28 total shots. So
yeah, it's incredible.
Of which only 7 of them were off target. So very precise. 12 shots on target. Hart made quite a few saves. I can't say exactly. Hart apparently made 6 saves as well. So we could definitely have had more goals. Very impressive. The second half, Louise, the goals continued, of course.
Yeah, for sure.
We got the third one in the 80s.
It's a cherry on the cake on such a great season for her. Playing with a lot of less pressure, healthy, and And you could tell, this is the team that Marta's been yearning since she signed WSL. About somebody asking, hey, the level Marta's playing right now, do you think she may extend her career a couple more years? I mean, she's already 39 years old.
38, I think.
38, yeah, 38, I believe. Yeah, hold on, let me double check. Marta age.
It depends. If she feels like she wants to make the
Yeah, she's
Brazil
yeah, she's
World
38.
Cup, but I think she's out of that, right? She said officially that she's not going to be going to the Brazil
Yeah, for
World
sure.
Cup.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if
Let me see.
like they're doing like there's
Hold
like
on. Yeah,
firing like
yeah,
pumping
yeah,
fists back at forth at
yeah,
each
yeah.
other.
They're shooting. Well, yeah, they're shooting webs.
I think it's
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah. They're
Spider-Man
doing the
meme,
Spider-Man. Yeah, yeah. They're
but I might
shooting
be
webs.
wrong. I'm not the coolest. I don't
So
always know
Marta
what the
could be
kids are
like,
doing.
from the Spider Verse. It could
I
be
think
Tobey
so.
Maguire Spider-Man, and then Batman
Yeah,
could be, current, current age.
action is there. It's strong now, and it is dangerous.
Yeah, and
It is dangerous.
just look at the fans, man. Look at their faces. Like, this guy right here came, say, hey, I'm just here.
They
First
couldn't
time,
believe they'd seen 5 goals at this
like
point. They
first
didn't even
time
know.
here. I, hopefully they say, hey, I saw LPO. Luis, told me, John, hey, come to check out the Pride.
There that could be back in the rotation as an option. We talk about, what's going to happen in the summer with internationals going away for the Olympics, but we take out Barbary, take out the Brazilians. I still got a lot of faith that our squad is still better than a lot of these other teams that are going to lose a lot of their players as well. And I just don't think they have the depth that we do. And not only that, I don't think they have the performers from like lots of different scores in the squad. I think maybe KC are up there. They've got something like 16 different goal scorers. But for us, like we're gonna have to rely on our Julie and on Ali Watt and Summer and Ali Limos. Like these players, I think are gonna be able to keep us at the top of the table or in the mix at least while we
Yeah,
lose our,
and
our star players.
some of these players, this is their first season with the team, like Brianna, like Ali Limos, and just imagine, with one preseason together, what they can do next season. you know so, and now also the tough the for Seb is clearly a tough road to climb. It's been a tough road to climb. He's had a lot of success, him and his team. And let's say they win the championship this year, and Orlando Pride actually brings a cup to the City Beautiful. First major sport, major trophy for the city of Orlando. And they come, and now it's to stay out on top is the toughest part, right? So now the expectation will be, nothing lower, than, a certain level, right? So it's only going to get tougher, but I think this team has what it takes. They're signing exciting players. They have a great front office, so I'm all in.
I'm going to read a few comments, Luis, and
Yep.
then we'll talk a little bit more about NWSL. Shinta says, off topic, but San Diego crazy for
Yeah.
firing Stoney already. Aston fired Matt Potter 3 to 4 games after getting that team to playoffs. She's ruthless. Yeah, I think it's obviously the Wave are not doing well. As you can see, they're down in 9th, but they're not completely out of it. I think it does seem a bit early. Would you
Yeah.
agree? It does seem a bit premature, but if your expectation as San Diego Wave is to be where we are, like if they're expected to be a top 3 team and they're down in 9th, then maybe that's enough justification from their expectations of Casey Stoney to say you're not going to achieve the goals that we want this year. Maybe they just want to try and turn it around mid-season. Either way, I do think it's a bit of a surprise. I think it's yeah. I mean, Luis, your thoughts?
No, I mean it's definitely to me too early, but you got the Alex Morgan factor there. And maybe she's like, "Hey, I can't play
Yeah.
with this coach, man."
You don't know how much the players have had an influence on that.
Right?
Right. You're
I don't
right.
know,
Yeah.
maybe it's like, "Oh, so there was a lot of high expectation for San Diego, and unfortunately it's not panning out that way." I think it's a little bit too early too. I do agree with you, John. I think
I mean, they have half our points. So if you look at it that
yeah,
way, if they expect to be where we are, they're way off the pace.
yeah. I mean, they're definitely not gonna get up there, but
But
they
also
can
firing your coach midseason, is that really going to mean you're going to
yeah,
fly up the table? Not necessarily.
put Alex Morgan to coach maybe, I mean,
Who
what I mean?
knows? We're gonna keep reading a few more comments. Jen says she's 38. We're the same age. Lol. She's talking about Marta there. Shinta, Marta the immortal. Uh, she also says, well, she might change her mind now that it's in
Yeah,
Brazil.
she
Talking
can take
about
it back.
Marta and the
Michael
World Cup.
Jordan.
Yeah, Rachel says Marta doesn't look like she's ready to retire. I do think she's leaving it all out in the field to finish with a trophy.
Yeah,
She also says she is truly the GOAT,
I
100%.
agree.
Shinta, Banda brought Marta back to life. I
Yeah,
definitely feel like there's a resurgence of Marta
yeah, for
this
sure.
year. We're seeing that. Or it was Lawrence, smiley face. They always auction off the game worn rainbow jerseys. That is true. Yeah. I'm sure they'll be doing that for the Orlando City Foundation. So you can get a rainbow jersey, but we're talking about that like nice, that white one that Seb is wearing. That like it was like a training. They do those. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, that's
Also,
actually a very nice one.
did you notice the poor Utah Royals coaches that have to look like they work for UPS in that brown and yellow combo? That's
Are you
not a good look.
serious?
Oh, it looks bad. It's
Are
not a
you
good look. It looks so bad. It's so bad. Anyway,
Your
Jay in Texas
caricature.
says yeah, they don't deliver goals. The speed of Jay in Texas says the speed of Banda. Rachel says adding so many Brazilians also. Jay in Texas says Marta scored the first with her left foot and the second with her right foot. Yeah,
Yeah,
she's the GOAT. Shinta says definitely Spider-Man. Last one was DBZ. The Internationals love anime and comics.
that's
That is
right. That's
true.
what
That
I'm
is
talking
true.
about. Those are my peeps right there.
Jay Texas Adriana celebrating before Ali scored. That is true. I did notice that. She's like, well, Ali's got it. It's a goal. Shinta says, would be so much better if Watt started and then had 3 goals by halftime. Make it easier on this defense, Seb. I mean, Ali coming off the bench though is a force with that speed when defenders are tired. I think Seb just picks and chooses, right, Luis, each game who makes more sense in the starting lineup
Yeah,
outside
yeah,
of like the key players that he wants to play every time.
yeah, definitely. I mean, it was a flawless. It was like Mortal Kombat, flawless victory.
Yeah.
It's like,
Um, Shinta says Casey will be better than us when the internationals are gone. Other than that, we're good. I tend to agree with you there. We just signed Bree. Luis, you want to talk about this? You got a comment on
yeah.
that? You want to
So
talk quickly about Brianna?
defender Brianna Martinez. They in Orlando and the Orlando Pride agreed to a 2-year contract. They're not is a not Notre Dame product extended through 2025. Um, Obviously, some of the words that Haley Carter says is that, we're excited to keep Bree in Orlando through next season. She invested in herself in the offseason and has demonstrated she can step up and perform when called upon. She's been a reliable contributor at every opportunity presented to her. And I could wholeheartedly agree with that. I think she's been outstanding for the Pride. It makes sense for them to extend her. I think she's been great. Either coming off the bench, just zero ego with Bree. She's just another player ready to suit up and just fight for the collective effort. And those type of players, give me those players all the time, man. Like, because soccer is a collective sport. And so, I love that. I love the fact that she brings a spark, when she comes in every game. So she said, Bree said right here, I'm quoting her words, I am beyond thrilled to be staying in Orlando. I have already learned so much from my coaches and teammates, and I cannot wait to continue to grow as a player with such an amazing team. This is such a special environment, and I'm so excited to continue to be a part of it. Vamos Pride, that's what she said, Bree. So
What is she, like,
phenomenal.
22, 23, something like that?
Yeah, I believe she's hold on, Brie
In that
Martinez.
age range? I think she's got a long career here with Orlando Pride if she
Yeah,
wants to stay and
yeah,
continue
she's
to
22
grow and
years old.
develop.
She's
Yeah.
22 years old, yeah.
I mean, I think she's got a work cut out with her with Carrie Lawrence coming back. We saw that she came back and came in at right back and could play there. Obviously, Haley might move back to right back at some point if we get other D mids in the mix. Like, I think it's good for Bree to have competition, but she's been holding her own and doing a great job when she gets put in there. I feel confident in her in the back line. I don't feel like she's a weakness. I feel like she's good going forward. She's a very, very solid rotation option now who can improve in the future and potentially become our future right back.
Yeah, and then, that's one piece of the puzzle. But then just like MS right here says, can't wait to see Grace Chanda. You bring another exciting player from the Zambia national team coming in to make a difference, boosting the later part of the tournament for Orlando. Like that is just gonna be massive. What they can do with Grace Chanda right there, I think that's what I'm saying. That everything is set in motion for um, these group of athletes to deliver a championship. Hopefully to the City Beautiful. And if they do make it to the final, guys, we gotta pack the house. I mean, right, John? If
Oh
we're
no, we got to
like, I
pack
was
the house
starting. I
before
don't know if
that.
I'm getting too ahead.
I think if we're going playoffs, I think they'll sell out the game, the first playoff game. Yeah, I would hope we make that push to make that happen. We should
Yeah,
sell every playoff game if we make it, really, or at least hit the 20K mark.
yeah, for sure, for sure. This is Jay, Texas. Now, another question I wanted to ask you real quick. So let's say we make it really far, and let's say we win it, the whole thing. Seb, I mean, you're talking about probably the best coach in the NWSL. You know, um, he's gonna be looked upon, from other other teams, right? I mean, they're gonna try to steal it away from Orlando, right? Him and his coaching staff. Obviously, they're very identified with Orlando. Those are a couple of things that we have to think about too. I don't see him leaving anytime soon, but he's certainly such an exciting coach. I mean, I think tactically, he's been such a mastermind. Like it's surprising and exciting. The way that he has like two or three options per position, and they're all performing almost at the same level. So it's fantastic. So Seb, the luckiest coach in the NWSL, getting Banda. Pat, Patrick Kleiner says, this was a tutorial for the Lions. The Pride showed the boys how to take the shot. There you go. Shinta says, I hope Rafa will be gone. Nope, Rafa will be gone. Needs Strom at center back and carry a left back.
She's replying to someone asking whether Jay Texas, whether asking whether Carey will be in the front line when the internationals are away. Uh, I don't think so. I think no. I think Carey will stay there. I think we still got Julie, we still got Ali. Right, those are probably your wide players still when the internationals are away.
Yeah, I think the Brazilians will be gone. I think Angelina.
We've got Kerr who could play as striker.
Yeah,
Maybe give Kerr some game time. We've got
and
other options to play at striker outside Julie and
Kerr
Ali.
is an exciting player too, a young player. So I mean, she has a size. She's been scoring some goals in the in trainings. She's an important part of the group as well. Maybe it's time to see her play as well.
I'm excited for that. Honestly, I think it gives even more opportunity to see more of these players that
Yeah.
we know are good, but just aren't getting as much game time right now because there's just so much great talent going on in the
Yeah,
prime at the moment. It's good,
imagine if Kerr scores a couple goals.
right?
It's on right there. So
Hmm.
the good
It would
thing
be
is
good to
that
have another striker option to bring off, take Banda off sooner if we need to, and we're like, okay, we got another out and out nine that we really like to play.
the cool thing about it is that Seb is and the squad is demonstrating that they're not bandit dependent. So this momentum that we see the Pride undefeated, they've had it before Bandit joined. Bandit was a piece that was added on top of their winning streak, and now obviously it's made him super, even more super strong, right? Than previous, but clearly I don't feel the team is Bandit dependent. I feel like we still have options up top that are able to make a difference.
For sure. No, I think that this game, I know it was a lot of the Banda being involved in everything and Marta, but more than ever, I feel like it's a team, and I feel like there's contributions from all places. And that, yes, they're being the key players, but that's because they are our key players, and that's why you have them in the field. But if you take them out, I still feel confident in this group to be able to go out there and execute a game plan and create chances and defend well. I think that we've intentionally been rotating the squad and playing players. I think Seb has been planning for when this happens all season and giving minutes out to different players here and there so that when it comes, there's not that like, oh, I haven't played it all shell shock kind of vibe. There's a, okay, I'm just going to step in like I did before. And that makes a much smoother kind of transition when you lose some of these core key players.
Yeah, no, definitely. I do agree with you. I want to say I want to say that it's just sometimes like I know I'm bringing it back again, but thinking back 2 seasons ago, bro, like like I, I was not expecting this, and it's good to see in less than 2 seasons, like the turnaround is impressive with the support of obviously from the front office, right, and the right pieces put together. You have an exciting soccer squad now, and it's like taking the league by storm. And so, what's coming to for the Pride is just full of positives. And when you see some of the negatives, and I know Haley mentioned it on the interview that we did with her, the team has gone through a lot of stuff that maybe it's not being, fans may not know about, right? And through all of that, mentally playing and winning, like that's, you know, not a lot of teams can do that, right? So it's fantastic. So we have Angel City next, I believe, right?
Yep. I'm gonna read a few more comments and then we'll dive
Yeah.
into Ageless City. Jen says, I feel like Seb hasn't got enough credit and been flying under the radar media wise just because everyone is so focused on the bigger names. I agree. I mean, I think we've talked a lot, Louise, so we try to, I'm always bigging up Seb. Like, let's not forget this guy. I think he's tactically done some genius things throughout the year, and I see us playing different styles of soccer all the time. Having a coach to able to get across their tactic for one style for the whole season is very common, but being able to do it multiple styles, multiple different tactics, different weeks is a real challenge, and we see that from this team. So that's all Seb and the coaching staff. And like I'm always saying, Luis, he's cooking up in the kitchen, but it's a joke, but it's true. Like he is out there doing some pretty impressive things
Do some
tactically, and
chopping.
that, yeah, and also coaching wise. Like I think that the reason that we're undefeated and the back line is as good as they are is because they're being coached by a guy who's a really intelligent center back who knows the game and knows how to defend, and it's instilled that into the players. So massive kudos to Seb. I don't think we do it enough, but we should. give him a lot of praise because he's done a great job. And you talk about 2 years ago, Luis, and the turnaround.
It's
It's all been
incredible.
done in stages, Haley and Seb, and getting the players in and getting the coaching staff in and turning everything around, changing the training facility. All of these things add up. It's all about getting all the pieces in place so that you can get to the point where we're at now, where you can go and win something, a trophy, a shield. This is where we're at. And so we got to get over the line. Let's read a few more comments before we talk about Angel City. Shin says definitely want to see more of Kerr in center
Yeah.
forward when Banda's gone. She also says we should see those players during the non-season games. Corey Dyke says JHS has got Penn State's Big Ten Medal of Honor. So yeah,
Wow.
I think Corey Dyke is definitely an underrated player in the squad. We'll see more of her. Dyke was at 6 and center back in college. Shep got her playing left back. Yeah, but she's been shown she could play right back, center back,
She could
like.
play three positions now.
And
That's
the thing is,
fantastic.
in this squad, like everyone's doing that, so it's not just her. And also, if you're flexible, you have more chance, like positionally, more chance of getting in. When he's like, "Hey, I want to put a left back on." Now he looks at Corey as an option. Also, Emma says Seb has got a lot of players. Ali with a heart, so a lot of great
No, she's
players. Yeah,
great.
Ali, which I think you mean Ali Watt. I'm assuming, but yes, we love Ali. She's the best. Alrighty, Angel City, Luis. Another team that's underperforming. They are down there in 10th in the league at the moment, so
Yeah.
not doing so well. Another Californian team. Obviously, we played them already this season. Your thoughts on Angel City?
Well, I mean, they're gonna. I think every team moving forward is gonna come to try to beat Orlando. Um, and we have former Orlando City players in this team that are gonna come back to Interco Stadium to try to cause some commotion. And that was the last. That was the last game that we play against them. 1-1. In the last game, they lost against Bay City, which they're the newcomers in the league, and they had Sidney Leroux right up top, right, and they lost, man. I mean, they didn't really show a lot of improvement. I have a feeling that we can definitely get the W here. Um, it's gonna be a little tough because we're gonna be playing on their turf, so they're gonna be with their fan base and at their stadium and things like that. Obviously it's an away game. I don't think we should just you know disregard that they can also cause some damage. I think we should go carefully, just like every game, and be really sound defensively because they do have some exciting players in the attacking third. You got Amsley, you got Vignola, you got LaRue, you got a couple of really good players right there on top. So we know the danger that LaRue can do if she's like super motivated. So, she's definitely going to be wanting to score a couple goals against their former team. And I think Orlando needs to control the pace of the game. I think if Orlando scores the first one, Angel City is gonna go down. Like you hit him with a 2-0 in before the 45, and I think it's a done deal. I will start. If I'm Seb, I'm start putting Corey Dyke in, Ali Limos. I start changing my players, rotating some players, and then controlling the game. And I think what this squad has demonstrated is the way they control the games when they score first. It's like spot on. I think they're the best in the league in controlling games when they're ahead a couple goals. It's tough for teams to try to turn the pizza, flip the pizza, to the other side, right? On them. So
We
that's
are the protagonists
we are
always.
the protagonists essentially. That we're the team that everyone wants to beat now.
Yeah,
You know.
I think it's very similar, Luis, to when we went away to San Diego, right? Like it's a tough hot place to go. You look at their results here for Angel City. They're up and down. They're like hit and miss. They've definitely lost to some teams that we will beat quite easily. So I think like you said, we go there. as long as we go up a couple goals and we're not struggling to score, it's going to be hard for them. I don't think they're going to keep us out. I would say, if we're going to go out there with Banda and Marta again, it's going to be a win, just because we're going to create so much with them out in the field in the first half, get enough chances that even if we want to take them off and rest them, if we're 2-0 up, I still feel confident in our defensive abilities to see out a game, to shut down a game when we have to. This team, we have that flexibility, like we said before, man. To do what we want to do. Like if Seb wants to go there and hold the ball, we can do that. If he wants to go there and sit and be a transition team and hit them on the counter attack, we could do that too. We have the options of how we want to go about it. I think with Angel City, they're a little bit desperate. Do you get that vibe from them this season? I get a little bit of desperation. I think
Yeah, look,
obviously Sid LaRue is a problem, like Claire Emsley. They've got good players. I just don't feel like it's all clicking. It's not working like it should.
I mean, I know this is gonna sound harsh. Politics. It reminds me. It brings back Vietnam memories. Politics. That's all I'm gonna say. You don't see nothing playing as a collective effort. Everybody's there to fend for themselves right there. Shinta says it right here perfectly. It says AC just lost to the Bay. AC should be on the phone with Stoney today and demote Tweed back to assistant. Also, Brian has been benched under Tweed over LaRue. Oh, make that make sense. Make it make sense. It says, what else? It says they refuse to let Messiah Bright actually play soccer. Well, she left Orlando because I don't know, fifth, but and I'll plead the fifth. But she left.
Yeah,
She
I
left.
mean she's not got the chances like we thought she was gonna get.
Yeah,
Honestly, and she's not really performed that well. I mean,
but
we're looking.
to give something to Messiah, I think she's an exciting player that I feel like if she really puts her foot down and decides to leave Angel City next season, any other team will be picking her up.
But then
It-
you've become a rookie and you've left 2 teams in like 2 years.
I
If
complete
I'm a GM, I'm like, what's
I
going on
completely
here?
agree with you, but I think her stock will go down.
I think she might get a chance here. Angel City, obviously, they're not
Or
performing
the
well. I think she has had like obviously
or the
she's had
Super League, the USL Women's Super League.
she's had some chances off the bench. It's just not. We thought they were gonna sign her to be like the new number 1 forward for them. I think if we'd have kept her here, she would have played more than she has gone away.
For
Do
sure.
you agree?
I completely agree. I think she's a great talent, but just like Haley said, it's like if you don't want to be here, we're not gonna hold you down. We're see you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. It's gonna be like that. It's like that. So what I really a little bit kind of I feel bad. No bad, but I just feel like it's a just bad decision. Is her national team bonus, right? I mean, because of her physicality and the size and some of the chances she's gotten, some of the goals she's done in the past, and all the buzz that she caused before. She could have definitely, if she would have stayed in Orlando in this momentum, maybe being part of this squad that we're currently see right now, that's taking the whole league by storm. I bet she's kicking herself, and you know what I mean. And she's saying, "Golly, I could have at least been to one U.S. Women National Team camp right now, or maybe gotten more buzz than what I'm getting now." And now, obviously, she's not getting that, right? So, she's as an adult and as an athlete, you gotta make decisions, right? And in the end, it's the ball's on your court, and she decided that she was going to do that. Now she has the power to turn it around, and maybe again, find another team at the end of the season. Because for a player, I think you have to have play time. right? Play time. And or if not, there's other options. USL Women's Super League, which is up and coming. You got also Europe, Denmark. You can play in Denmark, in Sweden, in Portugal, you know.
We'll see. We'll see. Rachel says she needs to prove she's consistent. She has off games. She's often has good moments.
Yeah, true,
Since it's a
true.
speculation because Bando is incoming, but she wanted to be a starter. She didn't really work out for her AC. I think it could have been something like that. Like she wouldn't guarantee minutes, and we weren't going to do that. Jennifer says, yeah, exactly. I assume she wanted to go because they were going to make her the star forward. I mean, we don't know. Obviously, we have our ideas. We speculate, but we don't want to spread false reasons as to
Rumors.
why she left. I think what's important
The
is
smoke alarm. Smoke
I
alarm.
think what's important is right that she wanted to go and we let her go and that was fine. It's just a shame whenever you see a player with that much talent and they go to another team, you're like, okay, well they're gonna
Thrive.
play her, and she's just not getting as much chance as we would have hoped. So, like Shinta says, it is what it is. Yeah, I agree. Let's move on to the lineup, Luis. Potential lineup here. I've got on. I'll bring it up for you.
Sure. Hold on. Let me go ahead and pull it up
I
real
I
quick
got
for
you.
you.
Here you go. Goalkeeper.
Oh, you
Who-
got it
We're
already.
gonna have Morehouse in here,
Yeah, Anna Morehouse.
and then who's your left back?
Well, Carrie, right? And you have Strom, and then Rafa.
Is Hafa gonna be back? I'm hoping
If not, we could.
we can put her back. I think maybe
Yeah, I think.
potential.
Yeah, I
Put her
mean,
back in. I'm always hopeful. I don't know if it was a major thing keeping her out. And Sam's at right back.
of
If
course,
that's going to
yeah.
be the case,
Emily,
yeah, I
Emily
think,
Sams,
yeah,
which SofaScore keeps putting Madrell, which is annoying.
we've been over this, Luis. They're never going to change it. Uh, I can't spell Haley
Well, I mean,
McCutcheon.
if Rafa's not back, clearly it's going to be Sam's for Rafa and then Brie Martinez. So we should
Yes.
probably stick with that.
You want to stick with that?
Yeah, we should
Okay.
probably Sam's and then Brie Martinez. Yeah.
Yep.
Plus, Brie Martinez just got signed, and you want to boost her confidence a little bit. It just makes more sense right now to Rafa can come off the bench if needed be.
Do we think Angelina is ready to start next to Haley in the D mid? Also,
I
drop in the
mean,
comments what you think. We want to know your opinion on the lineup.
I think based on the injury that Angelina had, you gotta ease her in. So she doesn't get injured the rest of the season because we're going to need her, especially in the playoffs.
So you think don't put her in?
I think Sab is going to just do the same. So it's going to be Summer
Put Summer in there again.
with Haley. Yeah, it's going to be Summer with Haley. And the reason why is because it's going to be an away game. There's going to be some traveling, right? And then you don't know if Angel City is going to want to get a little physical, You just I think you want to ease her in. Now, what would I like? I would like Angelina there for sure, right?
Yeah.
I'll say Julie Doyle. Marta.
Marta or Adriana doesn't really matter too much, right?
Yeah. And then up top, you're going to put Adriana and Bando.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that probably, I mean, that's the same as this.
It's the same as the last.
Yeah, if we're going to go with this, it's going to be the same lineup. We've been sticking with this 4-4-2 recently that like it morphs, like we said, into a 4-2-3-1.
Yeah, it gives them a little bit more freedom tactically when they retreat and the other team has the ball. They go back into position right away.
Sometimes away from home, we play a little bit more on the counter. So maybe if we're doing that, I would say potentially Ali Watt to get the start because we've seen Seb likes that to play Ali because of her speed on the breakaway. But who knows? I mean, sometimes we get these curveball. Maybe Carrie Lawrence will get a start. She's been slowly getting up to minutes. Like maybe Angelina will get in there. Maybe Hafa will be back. But I think it's pretty solid lineup from last game to go again. I would have no problem with running that lineup again, of course. So if we need to, everyone's available. We can run it back, Luis.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I would again start this lineup against Angel City, go up 2-0 before the half, then make the substitutions with the young guys, well, with the young athletes. I will switch and I'll put Corey Dyke, and I'll put Eli Limos, and I'll start changing some things around, just having the game secured. And then because the next game, is against, it's the game in my opinion.
Yeah,
It's against KC
the
in
big one.
KC,
The big
and that
one.
one we're gonna need everyone to be healthy. I mean, I think so. We gotta go and just kill Angel City. I mean, I know we can do it. Boom, 2 goals up in the half. Make some changes and then prepare for KC. Get Angelina like maybe to start against KC, because then after that you have KC. Then you gotta go to Houston. You got Houston Dash, and then you got Gotham and Red Star. So three teams that are pretty. They're better than Angel City, in my opinion.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
we've got luckily they're nicely spread out. We're not thankfully none of these are midweek. Like we haven't got 3 games in a week scenario.
right?
They're about a week apart. So it's gonna be yeah, it's crazy to think that the next league game at home, Luis, is on September 1st against Gotham. Obviously, we got the Summer Cup coming up in between, which we'll be covering here on the channel, I'm sure.
Yeah, which we should see. I mean, again, I'm no one to tell Seth what to do, but I would put Alex Kerr, I would put Corey Dyke, I would put Ali Limos. I'll try to get some some of the bench, some minutes. That way, when those stretcher of games come to us against, because we're gonna have to face Kansas City twice this year. So this will be the first one that we face Kansas City, and then they come to Interco. So we gotta keep we gotta stay right there on top, right? I mean that's what we want. So um, this whole thing with the Leagues Cup, I know I'm gonna sound really. I don't want to sound cocky, but I feel the NWSL has a better product overall than the Liga MX Femenil. Uh, Rayadas is a very good team and all of that, but I just think with the players that we have, the size of the players that we have, the physicality. I've seen some of these Mexican teams playing, like for example, teams from Brazil, right? And the Brazilian team sometimes have won with authority. So I mean, you put in Banda, you put in Emily Sams as a center back, you're putting Kylie Strom, Carrie Bello, you're putting, these are players that not only are physical players, but they're also fast. They can also bring you some pace in defense and in attack. I think we're going to find out that we are, I think, the superior league. And I know it sounds a little cocky right there, but I think this is going to be a good opportunity for some of our bench to get some minutes. At least that's what I would do.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're right. I think if we're looking at the world rankings of leagues, NWSL is definitely is considered like probably one or two, maybe we can debate that all day, but it's definitely a top 3 league in the world. The NWSL and Femenil, is down there in probably the 7 to 10 range of league
Right.
in the world. So as most of the European leagues are above that. So it's got some good players in, but definitely not nearly as stacked as the NWSL is in terms of international talents. It's interesting that we've got a group with one sadly only one player, one team in. It was strange to me how they distributed this.
How do they like? That's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's
So
just
we only got Rayadas. That's it.
yeah. So there's only Rayadas in our group. There's just not enough really to do this. There's not really enough. You've got one, like Group C has two Mexican teams in with Kansas City Current and Houston Dash. I think that will sell really well. Like down in Houston, for example, they're going to do really well with those games. Every other group, though, is just one Mexican team taking on three NWSL teams. And I feel like it's going to just be a lot of beating up on the Liga MX. Like, I mean, like, do you expect any of these Liga MX teams, maybe in Group C, but do you expect any of them to get out of the group? I'm not
Let me
sure. I'm
see. Let
not
me
sure they
see.
will.
Um, I mean, Rayadas and I'll say Club America. I think those two probably are the
Rayadas have also got North
Tigres.
Carolina
Tigres have a
Courage
couple of good
and
players
Racing
too,
Louisville
but
in our group.
I mean, you're talking about, and I know this is gonna sound so bad what I'm about to say, but
Yeah.
it's reality. Okay,
Mm.
75th minute, Orlando's up 2-0 against Rayadas. Going into a corner, you have Emily Sams going defending a cross from somebody that's 5'9". Like all of a sudden, I mean, with all due respect, like that's gonna play a factor. Like it's going to, no matter what. It's and yes, football is unpredictable and soccer is unpredictable, and you never know what could happen. But and yet, I don't want to take away from the Mexican champions and all of that. But I'm excited to see how they stand toe to toe for sure, because international competition for any club is great. But I feel this is going to be something for our bench. We're definitely going to tap into some starters. Like I'm sure we're going to see Marta, we're going to see Adriana, even Barbara Banda. But I think this is a tournament that it will be perfect to have an Alex Skur ready to rock and roll if something is going on in the playoffs. We have it ready to rock and roll right there and score some goals. Julie Dole becoming maybe more influential in the attacking third than usual. To see her in a different, kind of leadership position there. Maybe finding an alternative from Haley McCutcheon, so we save her legs for the competition that we actually care about, which is the NWSL. And then maybe we find that Ali Limos in that position can maybe do the job. So those are the type of things that I will look in this summer of Liga MX and NWSL.
Yeah.
I mean, Tigres is a good team. They have some exciting players for sure.
So it's going to be 30 group stage games and then followed by 4-team semifinal rounds. So it's not a huge amount of knockout. So I don't think I think it's probably top 2 from each group go through. So we'll see. Shinta says they will NWSL team's going to be playing the bench
The
while
bench.
Liga plays starters. Yeah, I could think we're going to see a little bit of that.
Yeah, this is gonna
A few
happen.
comments from Jennifer says, if folks want to see Monterrey in action prior to the Summer Cup, they play this coming weekend in a 2-game series against Tigres. KC is marketing their summer of soccer really well between this and the Women's Cup. I don't know how it's selling, but they're marketing it well, says Jennifer. As well, she says, and I say this is someone who loves WSL and Liga MX Femenil A-League women's soccer.
Oh wow.
Tigres is good, says Shinta. Rachel says many of them will be away. Shinta says a lot of the NWSL players will be away for Olympics. Yeah, that's what I was looking at. What is the crossover between Olympics and this? It seems to me, Luis, like will there be some NWSL, like the last NWSL game, I believe, before this? Maybe they'll be gone for that. But a lot of the time it'll be away during this tournament, during the Summer Cup. So perhaps that's why they put it on as a perfect opportunity to play some of these other squad players in NWSL while the Olympic players are away on international. Jennifer says Tigres have a very unimpressive coach at the moment. Maybe they can steal Stony. Yeah, I honestly I don't know enough about the Mexican Women's League to tell you, but I can tell you, like we said, Luis, that the standard there and the level of players are attracting, the level of the league, etc., is not as high as here. So I would expect to see a lot of NWSL dominance
For
from this
sure.
tournament coming up.
You
I think that's everything for us today, Luis, on Pride Pod. I mean, we get to talk about 6 goals. It's been such a
know.
good
Did you
a
feel? Did
good
you feel that we
weekend.
could? Do you feel that we can win maybe this tournament and then cherry on the cake? Imagine getting 2 cups, bro.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm like, whatever. Like, if we gotta,
I'll
throw
go Frank the
something
Tank.
away,
I'll
throw
go
this
Frank the
away.
Tank if it
Yeah,
happens.
like I would be wary if we bring in Marta and Banda back, and they're like still tired and stuff. I'd be like, don't play them in this tournament. Save them for the league. I want the Shield, Luis. I think we're built for the Shield. The Shield is what I want. I know you want the MLS Cup trophy. I mean the NWSL Cup.
I want it all. I want it all, John.
Yeah, we'll get it all, buddy. It's been written in the stars. Don't worry. Knock on wood before I jinx everything.
Yeah, yeah, I know, I know.
Yeah, yeah. I want to say thank you to everybody who's here with us in the comments. We're sorry we're a day
103
early
people.
today.
I would say
Um,
194 people on X and about 10 people on YouTube. So thank you so much, guys, for tuning in and watching.
yes, thank you to joining us on a Monday night.
Yeah,
Usually we're on a Tuesday night, but we're making accommodations. Luis has got
yeah, Copa
we got a
America.
lot going on. It's summer soccer,
Yeah, I
and I'm
have
I'm
to.
busy with work
Yeah,
and
I'm covering after this. I'm doing a post game commentary for the Colombia Paraguay game, which they're winning 2-0 right now. Colombia is, and tomorrow Peru plays
yeah.
against Canada. So Team Canada.
So if you enjoy what you hear here, you can always find us on YouTube if you want to watch as well at Loud and Proud Orlando. You can follow us on social media at LPO_podcast on X and on Instagram and on Facebook as Loud and Proud Orlando. You want to just go and like and follow and comment and rate, do all of that stuff because it helps us grow. It helps us get
Tremendous.
out there to more people. We only started this thing this year, Luis, for Pride, and it's grown so much. And we're so happy to have all of you here to talk with us and drop your comments and be like, I feel like we have a little community here of
It's awesome.
of
I love that.
LPO Pride fans, and that's awesome. And that's down to you guys. And thank you for being there with me on Pride Talks. I did another one after the game this week because again, Luis is busy with Copa. So we can keep trying to do those after every Pride game just to get our instant reactions and your guys' instant reactions in the comments. I say it a lot, but if you want to come and talk for there, please come and talk because we
Please.
we designed that one for all of you, and
Yeah,
I
we would
know
love to hear
we'd
your
love to
input.
hear your voices and talk with us. And I promise we're not scary. We'd love to hear your excitement after the game because that's usually what it is, right, Luis? We're just excited that we got to win. I
Yeah,
was so excited after this one. It was an
yeah, it's incredible,
incredible
man.
night, 6-0. Just yeah, I could stay here all day, and I watched the highlights like 5 times. I might go and watch the whole game again at some point this week, Luis. It's that kind of game. It's got rewatchability.
No, for sure. It was an amazing performance by the Pride, and they're just getting started, John.
Yeah, yeah. Alrighty. Well, I'm excited for Angel City. We'll see you all on the next Pride Pod. But until then, vamos Pride!
Vamos, Pride, guys. Have a good one.